Hello everyone. In the last unit you have read about socialism in Europe, and here in this unit we will be discussing about the Russian Revolution. So Russia was under the rule of monarch, that is Tsar Nicholas II was the name of that monarch, and he was a very powerful monarch. So what is this Russian Revolution? First is fall of monarchy in February 1917. That means the rule of Tsar Nicholas II comes to an end. And second is the socialists took over the government in Russia through the October Revolution of 1917. So through this 1917 October Revolution, the power came in the hands of socialists. So these two, the fall of monarchy and socialists taking over the power in Russia, they all together comprises the Russian Revolution. Now let's have some idea about the Russian Empire. So the emperor was Tsar Nicholas II. He ruled Russia and its empire. And its empire included our present day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, Georgia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. The majority religion that was followed in Russia was the Russian Orthodox Christianity, and the empire also included the Catholics, the Protestants, the Muslims and the Buddhists. Now you all have got a clear idea about the Russian Empire. So here we will focus on the socio-economic condition of Russia. So here the question arises, why do we have to know about the social and economic condition of Russia? Because through this we can know about the reasons behind Russian Revolution. Was the Russian economy and the social conditions prevailing in Russia the main reason behind this Russian Revolution? So we will split the topic into two parts, that is Russian economy and Russian society. So first we will read about Russian economy. So Russian economy was mainly a agriculturist economy. That is 85% of the population, they were engaged in the agriculture sector. So these cultivators, they produced for the market as well as for their own needs, and Russia was a major exporter of grain. You already know that industrial revolution has occurred in Europe. That means it must have some impact in Russia also. So let's see the scenario of industries in Russia. So industries was found in pockets. That means very few industries were present in Russia, and the most prominent industrial areas or famous industrial areas in Russia were the St. Petersburg and Moscow. But most of the production was carried by craftsmen. So who are these craftsmen? So these craftsmen, they worked in the small factories and produced goods for the whole country. So in 1890s, railways expanded and foreign investment in industry increased. So what is this foreign investment? Foreign investment means we can say the people of other countries, not actually the people, the big businessmen of other countries, they come and invest in our country or in some other countries. For example, let's say Google or Apple, these are not of India. They have invested in India. And why they have invested in India? Maybe because of availability of better facilities and market. So similar was in the case of Russia also. In Russia, the foreign investors, they saw the expansion of railways. That means transportation facilities was good. So as railways expanded, foreign investment in industry also increased. And as far as foreign investment increased, it had an impact, mostly a positive impact on industries. What was that positive impact? So industries started developing, coal production doubled and iron and steel output also quadrupled. So let's see something about this growing industries. So most industries, they were the private property of this industrialist, and the main motive or intention of these industrialists, their main aim was to increase profit, and in order to increase their profit, they used to force the workers to do more labor. But the government, they supervised the large factories to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. But factory inspectors, they could not prevent the rules being broken. So often these rules were broken. So although the government made rules, but still it couldn't be followed. In crafts unit and small workshops, the working day was sometimes 15 hours compared with 10 or 12 hours in factories, and accommodation varied from rooms to dormitories. So coming to Russian society, the workers, they migrated from villages and settled in cities, and they were divided social group. So when workers, they come from villages and settled in cities, they all were not treated equally. So there was a division among the workers, and they were divided by skill. For example, we can take here about these metal workers. These metal workers, they considered themselves as aristocrats among other workers. Why? Because their work demanded more skill and training. Now coming to women, the women also made up of about 31% of the labor force, but they were paid less than men. And divisions were also showed in dress and manners also. Some workers, they also formed associations to help the members in times of unemployment or financial hardship, but such associations were very few in number. No doubt divisions were there among the workers, but still these workers, sometimes they get united to strike work or to conduct strike. So why do these workers conduct strike? So mostly when they disagreed with the employers about dismissals or due to poor working conditions. That is when the employers used to dismiss them without any proper reason and because of poor working conditions. And these strikes took place frequently in the textile industry during the 1896, 1897, and in the metal industry during 1902. So let's see the scenario in the countryside, in the rural areas. So in the rural areas, peasants cultivated most of the land. But these land and mostly the large properties were owned by the nobility, the crown, and Orthodox Church. And this is the reason why the peasants or the workers, they migrated to the cities. And like workers also, peasants were divided. These peasants, they were very religious. So now let's bring out a comparison between the peasants in France and the peasants in Russia. So first, coming to the peasants of France. These peasants, they respect during the French Revolution in Brittany, they respected the nobles and fought for them. That means they were in support of nobles. But in case of Russia, the situation was completely opposite. In Russia, the peasants had no respect for the nobility. See, nobles, they got their power and position through their services to the Tsar. And in Russia, the peasants, they wanted the land of the nobles to be given to them. These Russian peasants, they never liked the nobles. So frequently they refused to pay rent, and even they murdered the landlords. And in 1902, this occurred on a large scale in South Russia, and in 1905, such incidents took place all over Russia. So Russian peasants were different from other European peasants in another way. How? These peasants, they used to pool their land together periodically, and their commune or meet divided it according to the needs of individual families. Suppose there are 100 peasants and each have their own land. So 100 peasants means total 100 land, small lands will be there. So what these peasants will do, they will pool or collect their lands together and one collective land will be formed. So all those 100 lands will be formed as one collective land, and these 100 peasants, they all together will work in this collective land, and whatever profit will be there, it will be divided according to the needs of individual families. So here comes the concept of cooperative. Thank you.